Black women particularly are the most educated demographic of people in the whole country. In 2023, that's an improvement because there were times where we weren't even allowed to go to school prior to, certain things being protected.
When were you not allowed to go to school? There were
women.
As a result of this segregation, they were creating black universities and things like that, which brought out the best in blacks then. And then the education that they were getting is much better than the education they're getting out of black schools because, how black folks are, they don't care. But the education was no good. And if you notice, the black women who are getting the so-called education, it's putting them on a false pedestal. And they think they're better than everybody. Now they're lonely, they're lost, they're angry, and nobody want to deal with them. So they got worse rather than getting better.
I completely disagree.
But educated women don't make for good wives and good mothers.
I completely disagree with that.
Why is that?
It's just not true. It's sexist. It's a lot of misogyny in there, and it's just not true.
What's not true about that?
Why does education stop you from being a good mother?
Because a woman that's educated, she thinks she's equal to a man. Because a woman that's educated think that she should work and not be at home raising his children and clean, keep the house going and things like that. And educated women don't care about the children. They're going to throw them off in a daycare center just so they can get their ego fulfillment. So they don't really make for good wives and good mothers.
Yeah, I completely disagree with that. My mother was very educated. She went to school. She raised me well. So now I, too, have a master's degree. I have my pick of the litter. There are plenty of men that want me. I can guarantee you that. And I have my own business. So it works.
But not,
are you saying that women who have an education can't raise their kids?
Right.
Why?
Because they're on an ego trip. They try to go to prove that they're like a man.
Who raised?
Well, why get married if you don't love your husband, your children enough to stay home and watch over his children?
I don't even want children, so
you don't want children?
I'm going to be married with my husband, traveling the world, and live my best life.
So why get married then? Right?
I was raised by a married woman.
But she didn't stay home.
So?
Right? She didn't stay home and raise you.
What's your
I rest my case. You get divorced while you were young?
Yeah.
While you were still living at home?
Correct.
Oh, I thought you said you were raised by both parents.
For a little bit. Then I got
So
divorced.
you weren't raised by both parents. See, I told you, educated women don't make for good wives and good mother. And now you're an adult. If you got married, number one, you're not going to obey your husband. Number two, you don't want to have children. There's no reason to get married.
To you.
So you can party by yourself like that. You have friends, and you can take your male friends with you and everything.
To you.
Isn't that right? Since she got married, she obey her husband and stay home and raise his children.
I believe she should do whatever she wants. That's what I believe.
And not what he wants.
Correct.
And what do you believe? Do you personally believe that a woman should obey her husband?
I don't like the word obey.
You don't like the word obey, you say?
Yeah, obey sounds, again, I believe women are equal to men, so we're just going to disagree on that.
And so what's wrong with the word obey?
Because obey sounds like an authority.
It is.
And I
a
don't
dictator.
Yeah, and my husband
And being
should
supposed
not
to
be a dictator.
dictate in the home.
Completely disagree.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you a Christian?
Yeah, I grew up Christian.
Well, Christ said that a woman should obey her husband. Was he wrong too?
Sure.
Christ was wrong?
Yeah.
The God you believe in was wrong when he said that.
Sure.
Amazing.
What's the science behind all men thinking the perfect time to romance you is while you're making dinner or doing dishes? Let's look at the comment section. So comment number 1 says, fill me with rage. The second one, obviously she wants to beat him up. And the second one, or the third one says he wants his mommy. She said, I know we're in a man-hating era right now, but certainly that can't mean that you guys obviously think these insane ideas. When I was looking at the comment section, women are bitter, y'all, and sick in the head. Like, let's keep going. Someone said, I don't like it. It makes me feel like he's trying to manipulate me. Manipulate you into what? Cooking dinner? Okay. This one says emotional manipulation. The other one says control. Oh my God. So I want to talk about this from both ends. How I see this is I personally understand getting overstimulated. I understand being the type of woman that likes to be in the kitchen by myself. I don't like help. I don't want nobody assisting me. I'm okay. I don't need anything. If I need anything, I'll let you know. 9 times out of 10, I'm very used to cooking on my own where I don't need that. I prefer me to be in the kitchen while a man sits down, watches TV, does whatever. I'm not one of those women who says I don't need something and behind my mind, I really do. No, I wholeheartedly do get overstimulated in the kitchen. I don't want to be groped, held, and all that. But where I'm coming from is, why don't you say that? Instead of, getting upset, instead of feeling some type of way, instead of having all this rage blow up and fester in your head, you can easily tell your partner that I love you, I care about you, I love to be held on other aspects. But when I'm cooking, I just want to be in the kitchen. Everybody knows when you're cooking, it's hot in the kitchen, you get overstimulated, you're thinking about timing, how fast you have to have dinner cooked and all that stuff. And I get it. It's a lot, especially to some women. So explain that to your man so that way he understands you better and knows when not to and when to touch you. I also feel like letting women know that this is manipulation and control is the stupidest thing on earth. Because when a man's paying for your dinner, paying for all the rent, and taking care of you, is that manipulation? Is that control? Why don't you pay for your own rent? Why don't you pay for your own things? The way women go and manipulate everything and make the men feel like they're the bad guys, I don't see what's wrong with that. And here's another theory. I know so many men that love when women cook for them. Just like us, we get so attracted to our man when he's building stuff, or when he's doing things in the home, or maybe when he's working out and we're watching him. That's an attractive trait. You don't think when a man's watching you like cook, he's like, she looks so beautiful, or man, she could really cook. What if he's never had a woman who could cook? What if he's never had a woman that looked as good as you? Sometimes you look at things in such a negative perception and you'll never know how a man really feels about you. This is why I say be careful taking advice from these bitter gargoyles, because you're going to sit there and go, yep, he's manipulating, he's controlling me. And you're going to get mad instead of just communicating that. Hey, babe, I love you, but this is me time. When I bake and I cook, I don't need help. Unless you guys are having cooking days together, I totally get it. But men, practice active listening skills. If your girl tells you, hey, babe, please leave me alone, don't keep bothering her, man, because then when she rages out on you, whose fault is it?
Amend this, didn't amend that. Man. Let's just blame man and take no accountability because it's a man's fault.
But didn't a man make you a single mother? Didn't he leave you with a broken home? Didn't a man leave you high and dry with those babies? No, actually, no. Nobody made me anything. See, that is what I find to be so interesting. The idea that anything that has happened to me is automatically a man's fault. Let me explain something to you, because this is something that I used to hear often on that Bird app. And if this channel was, or if this account was to get bigger, I'm going to hear it here too. So let's go ahead and get in front of it now. Nobody made me anything. There is not a single circumstance that I am not currently sitting in and living in that I was not a willing participant in. Every decision, even though I could say in hindsight, I didn't fully understand certain things back then, I was still a willing participant in my life. Right. I still made poor decisions. I still did things I wasn't supposed to do. And now I sit in my circumstances, or I sit in certain consequences, and I sit in where I am in life now, and I look back and I absolutely see where I dropped the ball and where I made mistakes and where I made poor decisions. And I have to take that on the chin and just keep moving through my life, because I am no one's victim.
She was asking me, what is the greatest love story to guys? And women, you won't like this because no guy's getting cheated on or over, but the greatest love story for guys is Rocky. And I'll tell you why. It's a story about a guy that had a dream. He had nothing. He didn't have a lot of money, and he met a girl, Adrian. And the whole time he was training to achieve this dream, Adrian just left him the f*** alone. And at the very end, he fights in the world championship to Apollo. He loses. He's at his lowest point. He's beat up. He didn't achieve his dream, and Adrian is still there for him. She even says, she goes, I'm right here, Rocky. I'm right here. Oh, it's beautiful, It was written by a guy. Can you imagine if Rocky was written by a woman? Jesus Christ, he'd never be champion, that's for sure. It would just be 2 hours of Adrian just nagging him, why you gotta go to the gym all the time? God, this dog's gross. Can we get a little teacup? Why do you hang out with Mickey so much? Why don't you just Mickey? You like Mickey so much. The ending would be pretty similar, though. Like at the end, again, Rocky would lose. He'd be at his lowest point, and then he'd call out. He'd go, Adrian, and she'd go, I'm right here, Rocky, I'm right here. And then he'd look, and then she would be over there with Apollo and go, oh, while you were working out, he was my true love, so I had to cheat on you, sorry. And then all the women would be like, yes, queen, live your truth, yes.
A lot of women, they don't realize that they are the issue. And so we have a problem taking accountability. We have a problem shutting up. We are extremely argumentative. And a lot of times we are the walking red flag.
Can I ask that question if you don't mind?
Sure.
Like, why do black women refuse to shut the f*** up?
Ooh, that's a heavy loaded question.
Why?
Look, they can't shut up the answer.
I want to know why.
I'm going to tell you why.
Shut up the answer.
It just goes back to what she said. A lot of it is lineage. So a lot of women, we saw our mothers and we saw our grandmothers being, wait, let me cook, because it's not all of us. Some of us do know how to be quiet, but.
They're the married ones.
But a lot of times we watch our mamas and we watch our grandmothers and great grandmothers not shut up, right? It's a generational curse. I'm gonna be honest with you, because we was raised in households where the women had to handle. Okay, we had to pay the bills. We had to be independent. We had to run households, and we had to raise kids alone. So yeah, a lot of times we not gonna shut the up because this my shit, and I've been doing it. However, it's not. Listen, however, it's not right. And what I had to learn is learning to be quiet is a skill. Okay, especially when you don't come from that example, you have to learn how to be quiet. You have to learn how to submit, and you have to learn how to not be argumentative. And a lot of women don't take the time to learn that skill.
Man, this is the Nothing But the Truth live podcast.
You know, I will give her that. The lady was talking about you have to learn how to submit. It's a skill, because it is, right? Naturally, you want to do your own thing. And she said, you know, it's a generational curse. A lot of us grew up in a household where, you know, the woman was paying the bills and she had to do everything. I get where you're coming from, but a man, even in the household where he used to pay all the bills and stuff like that, he had to learn to discipline himself. I know the easy route is to say, oh, well, the men back then were beating on their wives. That's the easy thing to do, because you always like to put men in this box to where they're always putting their hands on women, and that's not actually true, right? Some men were, that's not actually true, but men had to be disciplined. They had to be stable. They had to be consistent, right? Even while paying the bills and having a lot of pressure on them. But kudos to you for saying, well, you know, this is the way we grew up, and this is the way we, you know, that's the way we saw it. Even if mama wasn't trying to train us that way, that's what we saw, so that's what we do. And you got to learn. We got to get that up out of us. So, you know, we can try to do better. That's really all you need, right? That's what you need, because a man is going to have issues that he has to fix. He's going to have some things that he has to solve, and he's going to want you to be patient with him. That's all the man is saying. Well, you know, let's just work together. Let's just commit to getting, and that's not changing your personality, it's changing your behaviors. So he's not trying to change who you are, but I'm just trying to change the way that you act in certain instances.
So ladies, if you're not showing the behaviors of a wife before the man puts a ring on your finger, then why would he want to put a ring on your finger? I hear so many women on the internet, in person, talk about, oh, well, I'm not doing all that because I'm not a wife. I'm not going to cook for him during the dating phase because I'm not a wife. I'm not going to support him during the dating phase because I'm not a wife. I'm not going to take him out on a date even though he done took me on 10 dates and paid for him because I'm not a wife. But what you don't realize is that during the dating phase, the talking phase, the relationship phase is when a man actually determines if you have the qualities of a wife. So if you're showing him that you're not a wife during these phases, then guess what? You're not going to get the ring. Because here's man's logic, because women's logic be dumb, right? Man's logic is, if she's not showing me wife qualities before the ring, why would a ring then suddenly make her want to start being a wife? You're either a wife or you're not. So some of y'all want to be married, but y'all be holding y'all own selves back because y'all stubborn in these messed up mindsets that literally make no sense. If you want to be a wife, you need to be a wife in training during the dating and relationship phase. Okay?
You have lost your way, and I understand you were raised by single parent moms. That's why we get on the women for having all of these children, and they won't stop having these children without fathers. How do you guys think we learn how to become men? We don't crawl out of the vajayjay and just instantly know how to be something as complex as a man. We need our tutor, which is our fathers. That's who teaches us the do's and don'ts of the world, structure, and the discipline that we adhere to throughout our journey of life. But if you don't give us that, we will be messed up. And a lot of men are messed up. So I'm going to say this to the fellas. Women looked at our grandfathers and our uncles like superheroes. Because when something wasn't working right, granddaddy walked outside. I don't care if he come back in an hour or two later. That thing is working now. All that money they got to work on that stuff. And the woman was able to sit back and they're like, that is my man. He did that.
Right.
You guys aren't giving women anything to be in adoration of, if you guys aren't giving women anything to be able to brag about from you to her friends, you're in trouble. I'm not saying that gives her a reason to have an affair, but I'm telling you, women need to look up to their man. And if you're doing the same things that she can do, let me call the garage door repair people, babe. I mean, you didn't even try to go out there and see if you could fix.
Men, I have a question for you. What do you bring to the table? Yeah.
Well, that's always a fun question. Although I'm not exactly sure why some women seem to view it as a gotcha moment.
You want to ask girls all the time, well, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? Because I'm sure we all bring a lot more to the table than you do.
If by we, they mean women in general bring more to the table than men, then generally women shouldn't have a problem answering that question then, should they?
The amount of men I've dealt with this last year, I hate men.
I'm shocked to hear that. Really? They seem so open-minded.
I love arguing with men. I love it so much. It's my favorite pastime because they're all so stupid. The more men I have to deal with, I'm just like, oh my god, you're an idiot. You're a princess.
This'll be fun.
Like, you want to be interviewed. You want us to ask the questions. You don't want to do any work. You want us to travel to see you. You want us to pay for things. Anything else, princess? Do you need one of my tampons out of my purse too? Like, oh my god, you're annoying.
Who else noticed? It happens quite often, but I don't think they actually picked up on what they were doing. See, a lot of individuals, especially those that don't like men, when they try to make men look bad, they attribute characteristics that are stereotypically applied to women to men to make them look unintelligent and weak. So what does that really say about their opinion about women?
We as women definitely have a double standard, and it's not fun to admit. It's not fun to see, but it's there. We really do expect perfect delivery, perfect tone. We expect him to show up exactly as we want him to, just so we feel emotionally safe and stable, so we don't get uncomfortable. But the reality is we don't hold ourselves to the same standard. We want him to have all kinds of room and grace when we don't show up perfectly. That's our expectation. He needs to be a strong pillar, a mountain that can handle all of our imperfections and our moods. We want it to be water off a duck's back. No problem, baby. I love you. Come here. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the reality is we're not going to get it if we don't hold ourselves to the same standard as we expect from him. It just doesn't work that way. And we cling so hard to prove that it does. We're always scanning for every little detail, every little fact that points out that, oh, he doesn't love us enough. Oh, he doesn't respect us in the ways that we need, that we deserve as a woman. And I'm not trying to let him off the hook. I'm just trying to point out that we as women absolutely have a double standard here. And until we really own that and create more space within us to hold ourselves accountable to the very thing that we expect from him, our relationships will not thrive and we will not get what we want from him because he's going to self-protect. And then we're going to blame him for the self-protection.
My homegirl sent me a post that basically states that Black men are the worst men to date and they are not romantic.
Now, ladies, I want you to take this video as a lesson of what men will do when they simply don't like you.
They treat being romantic like a crime.
Being romantic is not a crime. These men are just not romantic for women they don't think are worth it. Sorry.
You can see a lot of Black men result into other races because they feel like Black women are so mouthy because we stand up for ourselves and we have confidence in ourselves.
See, now not only are you putting down Black men in this video, you are now stepping on every other race of women because apparently Black women are the only ones that stand up for ourselves in relationships and demand respect. Is that the take you want to have?
And all we be asking for is simple respect that can't even be given. They think that it needs to be earned.
And this really is my final straw because you're dealing with a man that doesn't respect you. That means he doesn't like you. He just doesn't like you. Stop dealing with men that don't like you. They might want to sleep with you, but that doesn't mean that they like you. If they refuse to be romantic, if they refuse to respect you, if they think that all of this has to be earned, they just don't like you. Try someone else. I don't know.
I'ma squeeze y'all hand real tight when I say this.
Okay.
Single mothers don't give a if you want them or not.
I don't know about that, but let's hear you out.
I be seeing videos. I saw a female. First of all, you females, you hoes that listen to men talk so much stupid that it went on in y'all blood cycle. It is circulated in y'all head.
All these men are saying is that they have a preference and y'all are mad. I see women on the internet constantly saying the most fiendish, and y'all will agree with them all day long. But the moment a guy says, I have standards, it's a problem. If they don't want to date single mothers, so what? She's gonna ask, have you tried taking a single mother out on a date? They don't want to. So why would they even try? Single moms are always mothering. No, they aren't. They're always on the internet talking about why don't men want them because they have a child.
Man, you gotta protect yourself out there. There's a lot of miserable, unhealed women out here who will cause havoc.
To start lying to men, and you need to be batshit crazy. And I am very sorry, but if you are someone that is all about ethics and you don't want to lie to a man and you want to be a good woman, hey, I commend you for that, but I'm very, very sorry. My account is not the account for you. I'm very sorry to say that. I am all about scheming, bullshitting, saying or doing or anything to get what I want. I mean, I come up with the wildest scenarios to tell these men, and it works for me. If you are someone that is interested in having the same experiences that I talk about on my account, then you should probably start implementing some of the same things that I do.
Now, I pulled the video back up because I want to show you. This is an average woman at best. Maybe a little bit lower. If she got all dolled up, maybe she'll be... Nah, she's average. But if you have women like that speaking out saying that she wants to basically hurt men, she's scheming, she's conniving, she's doing anything to get exactly what she wants. Just imagine the pretty women. Like, the pretty woman can pull that off, right? Her average is doing that to men. Subpar men, I guess. Like, you can tell a man hurt her and damaged her, like, violated. She probably fell in love with a dude and, like, graced her. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying, like, she didn't heal. So whatever happened to her, she wants to do to somebody else. So, men, let that be a lesson, because women are not afraid of speaking out about hurting you. Identify the signs. Don't fall in love too quickly. You know, take your time. Vetting process is very important. Identify if you're doing certain things, she's not reciprocating anything back. Cut your losses and leave, because she is not all that, and you can definitely do better.
So I think what's happening is this woman is, you know, when she gets all dolled up, right? Because let me see. Her hair is not bad, actually. And I think that might actually be her real hair. So it does look like, at least it's aesthetically, she does take care of herself, right? Which is good. Right? It's good. But, you know, at some point in time, your attitude, and that's what we keep on talking about, your attitude has to take a back seat. It is not going to work in relationships. Modern women, you should be lying to men. You should be trying to scam men. You're going to meet your match one day. And that man is going to put you through the ringer, the ring of fire. And you're not going to know which way is up, which way is down. You're going to be upset. And you're going to want to swear off all men. But you guys keep on talking about manifesting. How come y'all don't understand when y'all do stuff like this, it's going to come back on you?
Make this clear for everyone.
Oh, goody. Another woman talking about the supposed male loneliness epidemic and how bad it really is.
Male loneliness epidemic. Hi.
Is it really? Then why aren't more men talking about it? If it was as bad as a lot of women seem to think that it is, then a person would imagine that it would be brought up more by men. But it's not.
Female loneliness epidemic. 0. Why?
Yes, why? Because from what I have seen, that really isn't what's actually going on.
You make us feel lonely. We don't feel lonely alone.
Now that's not entirely true. Now is it? If it was, then there wouldn't be so many women asking the question of where do they find a good man. But there are a lot of lonely individuals out there, both men as well as women. But from what I have seen, a lot of men handle being single a lot better than some women do. So I think some women have actually tried to convince themselves that men are just as miserable as some of them are.
I want more men to feel safe marrying the whore. Because they're going to keep you good. You're going to wake up to sucks.
You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Hello, it is I, Gentlemen, black spider guy, everybody, pay attention. Cardi B is a wonderful example of why it is, attention, why it is one should not turn a 304 into a housewife. Pay attention. If you would like to procure a wife, one should get with a lady that has been raised to pay attention. Has been raised to be what? A 304 or hoe has been raised, pay attention, has been raised to be a dumpster of the sperm.
A broke man's love language is romance. When a broke man wants to be in love with you, he will put this, you know, our sun and moon is in Sagittarius and it's in Aries and we're meant to be together. We're twin flames. Our numerology, this is a broke man's language. This is all he can offer. He can't offer you money. He can't fix your issues. He can't give you solutions to your problems. He will use you as a therapy buddy, an emotional dumpster, because he can't go to his bros. That's embarrassing and weak. So he'll use you for that. And most of these men have nothing going on for them. They'll come to you and they'll waste your time.
You know what? I'm going to have to agree with this lady. A broke man can't really offer you anything but maybe some good words, some good romance. That's pretty much about it. They really can't offer you too much else. But I do have a question for this young lady since we're on the topic. What does a broke woman offer you outside of romance and words? I really want to know this. What does a broke woman offer you? Outside of fixing her problems, dealing with her issues, and paying for her stuff, what can a broke woman offer somebody? And if you say some of them can cook, clean, and take care of the house, well, there are some men out there who can fix cars, cut the grass, and fix things around the house. So I'll ask you again, what is it that a broke woman offers a man? Could it be that broke people aren't much help financially, but men with money are willing to accept a woman with no money because we are selfless and we don't mind taking care of people? But women, on the other hand, when they get a little money, they don't want to take care of anybody but themselves. And because of that, they'll look down at a broke man, even though a broke woman doesn't have much going on and will use you and waste your time as well. And the fact is, if men with money started acting like women with money, there would be a lot more broke women running around. Could that be it? I'm just asking.
Men, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Men genuinely believe that no one is coming to save you, and they are totally alone. But what if I told you they had reason to believe this? I would encourage you to go watch some YouTube videos from a woman named Nora Vincent. Nora lived as a man named Ned for 18 months. In 2006, she wrote a book called Self-Made Man about the experience. She was treated so poorly as a man that sometimes she was actually physically sick. Her key takeaway wasn't that women don't struggle. It was that men's struggle is entirely different and completely misunderstood by women. So there's a constant internal stress and an internal battle that men are facing that often the women in their lives don't see and often can't understand. After the experience, she struggled so much with depression that she actually unalived herself. Ladies, if you look at the suicide rates among men, you can see there's something going on and there's a problem. Sometimes I think we forget that men are emotional and they do have feelings and they do need support. When I learned this and really understood it as a woman, I understood why a man wants peace in a partner. That's what he'll seek. Someone who will bring him peace, not just externally, but internally. Something that will help him win the war he's fighting in himself. Ladies, I encourage you very much to just go talk to someone you know, a guy you know. Try to get them to open up. Ask how they're really feeling or thinking, and it'll be hard. They might not want to do that, but I think you'd be shocked at what you would hear.
I knew that men were stupid when they started advocating for mandatory DNA tests at birth. These are the same men who think that the government is lying about the earth being flat, that the government lies about the census, and that the government faked the moon operation. They will give the government full authority over their DNA to keep in a database forever and do whatever they want with it. But as long as it meant that women couldn't make them pay $150 a month in child support, it's a win, right? the intelligent gender, everybody.
We're gonna do all these leaps and bounds to make DNA testing at birth a bad thing. Men are just so dumb because they want to know if that baby is theirs. These broads are just so insane. Rather than holding women accountable for lying about who the baby's father is, or for sleeping with so many men during that period of time that she doesn't know who the baby's father is, rather than holding them accountable, no, it's men are stupid. You want the government to have your DNA? Guess what? The government, if they want your DNA, they can get your DNA. It's so easy for them to get your DNA. If they really want it, they can get it. They don't need to have all of this to get your DNA. If they want your DNA, they will already have it. Y'all will say anything to defend promiscuous broads and then try to reduce it down to $150. A lot of men are not paying $150 for their child support. Stop trying to reduce this down to justify your dysfunction, to justify the fact that y'all spread eagle to so many men that you have no idea who the pappy is. Stop putting on the cake for broads that behave this way. And I side-eye any woman or any man that does that, because it's like, are you the type that would do that? Lie to someone for 18 years telling them that's their child? And because anyone with a moral compass is going to see an issue with that and would want to advocate for something that allows people to be sure, that allows a mother and a father to be sure who's who. So
I think in a lot of long-term relationships, women get to the point of like, it's not romantic anymore. He doesn't take me out anymore. And the guy is just like, I don't know what to do. I guess I can't do anything right. And I have a theory on why this is. Men's idealized romantic visions for themselves are like peace and stability and comfort. And I think women's romantic idealized versions for themselves are like passion and excitement, maybe a little bit of danger, but like nothing too crazy. I believe this because when men start talking romantically, what they imagine you doing is they're like, hey, I can't wait until you can come over. We can just like watch TV together and like drink some beers. And like, this is what they say when they have a crush on you. When they like legitimately have a crush on you, they start fantasizing about like things they can do with you at home. And when women have a crush on you, they're like, I want to do this with him. I want to do that with him. I want to go all these exciting places with him. I want to kiss him in the rain. Obviously, this is not every woman or every man ever. Like everyone's an individual that has like their own romantic fantasies. But I've noticed this is a disconnect and conflict that like most straight couples tend to run into at some point. What's the solution here? I can only speak for myself. I can only speak for me personally, but I'm just going to find someone who doesn't like peace that much. I will never be a man's peace.
Why do women have to prove their value, but men just have to show up?
I think it's the opposite. I think men have to prove their value and a woman just has to show up.
It depends on who you asking.
No, I think if you're pretty, you could get access to the parties, to the invite only, to the private yachts, to the billionaires club, just because they want to have you in the room. Now, we know what they want you in the room for, but if you're smart, you don't go for it. You work the room so that they invite you directly after. Whereas men got to earn the money, have the job, get the accolades, do the achievement in order to even almost have access to some of the things that she gets. Mm-hmm. So I actually feel like beautiful women get much more opportunities than men do. I just feel like for me personally, I think that as a woman, I get more opportunities than a man, because I think that men want me to be in the space, but they don't expect me to come with the character or the work ethic that I come with. And that's what keeps me in the room. What I look like might get me to the room, maybe if I know somebody, but what I'm built by or built of is what keeps me in the room.
And you know, I really like what Sarah was saying when she was talking about there's a lot of pretty women. Really, honestly and truly, you can be average, right? If you have something, you're going to get invited. And so what do you do with that opportunity? Man might have a lot of money. Okay. So what does he do with that opportunity? Right. You get in there and you show your stuff. You do, basically you do what you do. Hey man, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do my thing. Right. Most modern women, they don't do that. They just say, okay, I'm pretty and that's what I bring to the table. I'm beautiful. Right. But they never go anywhere past that. And that's why they never gain respect. Let's say, guy A brings you to the party, right? Guy A brings you to the party. So you got one guy brings you to the party. Hey, what's going on, everybody? You might get there and meet another guy. He says, hey, man, I like your work. Why don't you come work for me? Or why don't we, link up? See if we can do some business. Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Now, guy A, who only brought you there to be pretty, he kind of move off to the wayside. You kind of stop talking to him. And you go with this guy. It's like, oh, yeah, he hadn't really said I'm pretty yet, but he wants to do business with me. And that's kind of the direction that I'm trying to go. And then you might find out down the road, oh yeah, man, I really think that you're pretty. And, just working with you these past however many months, makes me want to see if there's potential for anything. And I wanted to know how you felt about that. And at that point in time, if you want to keep it strictly business, you can. But if you're interested in that, you can say, yeah, I'd like to explore that. What'd you have in mind? Well, I was thinking there was a nice spot downtown, and I've been itching to go there, and maybe we can go there Friday at 7 o'clock. Right? I can pick you up, and we can hit the spot, hang out, and, kind of whatever you want to do. It's up to you. But, we can definitely go out to dinner first and do that. Yeah, I like that. And so you get the ball rolling that way. It's when you have a structure, and then you have, you can build alignment within that structure, and you can get momentum and you can start rolling. Then that structure is not hard.
Give me an example of how you're actually currently being oppressed.
Because those systems have been in place so long where women shouldn't have jobs, women shouldn't have financial stability, women shouldn't be in charge of their own finances, a lot of families have come to think that that is the truth. They have come to accept that. And so a lot of families don't prioritize their daughters getting educated or etc.
So what do you have to say then across the nation in the United States? The higher education gap, it's like 60-40, 60% women, and this was the case since 1980. So perhaps historically this might have been the case, but now that the gap exists in the other way, are you prepared to say that there's discrimination and sexism against men given the disparity?
No, I'm not prepared to say that.
But there's a gap that exists.
Yeah, and why is that gap there?
Maybe because women are being presented with more opportunities just because they're women.
Is the female population not higher than the male population?
Perhaps in a very small way, it wouldn't account for such a massive gap in higher education.
Some men are great actors. They prey on some women who are weak too. Some men can meet a woman and see everything that she's missing or what she's lacking, and they can try to manipulate or pull off of those things that they know is wrong.
Women have to start taking accountability, y'all. It's at the point when it comes to women and the lack of accountability. If other women can't hold you accountable, then who gets to hold you accountable? You are responsible for the person that you choose. I don't give a how much he acted, because at the end of the day, we all got multiple personalities. Everybody has a dissociative identity that they revert to feel safe in the moment or to get what they need. It is your job to feel into your spirit and to tap into God. Is this the person that I'm supposed to be talking to? Is this the person that's aligned with my spirit? And so what happens is you don't hear what a person actually says. Your wounds make you hear what you want to hear, what you need to hear.
Absolutely. And that's
so
what I was just saying.
Is red flags are no longer red flags. They look like green. A person who is void internally will look for crumbs from anybody they can get them from. And when you're a person who has not been fulfilled emotionally with love, you're love deprived, have a person come to you with crumbs and it'll look like a whole feast. That's your responsibility to take a look at what within me did not see that red flag. What within me was willing to look past all of the things that I saw, but now you're in a relationship and you're mad about it because it's clear that you avoided all of those red flags. That's an internal accountability. We can't put that on nobody else. People act all day long.
This may be really messed up, but I believe that women and men should be held to completely different cheating standards. Like, I think that if you're a girl, mostly if you're like a 23 and younger girl, you're allowed to cheat on your boyfriend. He doesn't have to know about it, but if you're on vacation, like you're in Italy and like an Italian guy's flirting with you, like you should be able to make out with him in Italy. You're a 23-year-old, this is not your husband. But I think that guys should never be allowed to cheat because you should be obsessed with your girlfriend. But women, it's like, we never know. So like, if you're like a young girl, you should be able to cheat.
In other words, women don't know. They're not sure about you, so they get to test the waters. But guys have to be certain about the woman. In fact, they have to feel like she is their entire universe, no matter what, and he has to be totally obsessed and never stray. This is the kind of sick, twisted double standard that they actually believe now.
Women get custody because the court system favors them.
No, but okay.
And I'll tell you what.
Go on.
And men are punished for being traditional in this country. They are, because the way the court system and see this, I'm gonna talk about this because I know things. It's basically the person that spends the most time with the child. Well, if a man wants to protect and provide for his family, who does that punish? The guy for doing the right thing.
But the children
that's-
spend more time with the mothers. Sometimes men are not as involved.
Correct,
So
correct.
It's
But it's because
children that want to go with
right,
them.
it's because they're at work though.
Yeah.
But and then
Okay.
if you look at let's talk about what's in the best interest of the child. When you look at single father homes, they fare very similar to two-parent households. When you look at single mother homes, they become
I
criminals.
didn't know that. Yep.
They become criminals, drug dealers, school shooters. Every really problem that you can look at in society comes from single mother homes. Single father homes, not.
I'm not about feminism at all. I've been anti-feminist since high school because it's really destroyed dating and getting married and having kids.
Why do you think that?
Because it placates off of the natural inclination for women to be corrupt. It's a very corrupt ideology. Women have a particular innate capabilities that can make them very corrupt and manipulative. And I notice with feminism, it really magnifies that because it actually calls it a civil rights movement in the West. And it's a fake civil rights movement in the West, but it really just ends up becoming a big government situation, which is what most civil rights movements in the West is all about. It's not really about your civil rights. It's not an inequality thing because we have equal rights, but I'm at the point now where I'm like, less rights for women, the better, because it's actually becoming such a cancerous society. It's destroying family and tradition, and I'm very patriarchal.
Okay, I'm gonna cook here. Ready? Just listen. Just listen. Maturity for a man is when he realizes that he should be the one pursuing a woman. Okay? Now, this is gonna get some of you guys like, oh my gosh. Maturity for a woman is when she realizes that forcing a man to chase her is not the idea, but rather a man should be pursuing her. Because maturity for a woman, if she allows a man to pursue her while she's staying still, that's mature. Now, when a woman is standing there and a man is trying to pursue her and she starts running, that's a man chasing her. There's a huge difference because a man is going to give up on pursuing a woman when she starts running from him and she wants him to chase her. How is that mature? It's not. A woman has to stay in one position and allow that man to pursue her.
I see why she's married, and women really have to understand this.
Men melt when a woman speaks softly. But a lot of women don't want to hear that because they think being sweet makes them look weak.
One word, feminism.
But that's a huge mistake because a woman's greatest power is her softness. Think about it. If he wanted another alpha energy in his house, he would have married another man.
And we get called sassy for trying to hold women accountable. Isn't that crazy?
So if you ever have caught yourself thinking, he never does anything that I ask him to, it's probably because you talk to him like you're another guy challenging him. Try using your feminine, soft, lighter tone of voice more often and just watch how differently he treats you.
For the women that are still listening, please listen to the last part.
I've never heard a no from my husband when I speak to him gently. He's even told me that he can't resist when I ask that way. If it feels hard to switch into that sweet version of you, it's because you've permanently turned on that masculine energy without even noticing.
Yeah, I really don't have to say too much after that because she really explained everything. And this is exactly why she's married. A lot of women don't understand the way you treat a man makes him want to do so much for you. And y'all really would want to give that up because you want to compete with the man that you're with. Because it really amazed me that a lot of women will go to their job, talk to their boss politely, respectfully, arrive on time, do what he says. But when you get home, you give your husband the most miserable attitude ever. Yeah, I know an argument might be, my husband doesn't pay me, but your husband will sure put his life on the line, and your boss will definitely replace you the moment you call out being sick. Conclusion, women, please try to respect your husband a little more, be more soft. It makes the world a better place. And if you don't, y'all wonder why I say this. And you want to get married. Pack it up.
Women are thinking this. Hey, he invited me for a cup of coffee. I know through other men who are teaching women how to invest in themselves and find a partner who actually wants to go out with them and get to know them, has told me this is very low value. I have to decline this because this person doesn't value me and probably goes out with a bunch of other people for coffee, and I want someone who's making an investment up front and shows me that they care and put some thought into this date.
When it's women that are making TikToks and Instagrams over and over again, disrespecting men, saying they cheated on their boyfriend, man-hating, saying I'm entitled to this and that, who is surprised that men are now given pause and saying, I don't know if I want to shell out cash on date one.
This is just in the DMV because I feel like when you go down south, it's a little bit different. Men here don't necessarily approach you. So I feel like, I don't know if men are shy or like they just don't, have enough
They think they the
confidence. They the prize.
They think they the catch. It's too sassy. It's too sassy for me. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Why don't men pursue? Why don't they take the initiative? Why don't they take the lead? Most of the times, females, are we supposed to shoot our shot? I don't necessarily think so. However, we can. But I think we should be able to position ourselves in a way to say, hey, I caught your eye, you caught my eye. All right, man, you make the first step.
When you catch
But
his eye, what do you do to like
I'm
let him know
positioning
that
myself. I'm positioning myself. Okay? I'm like, hello, I'm here.
But what a lot of modern women don't understand is that your positioning isn't really positioning at all. It's garbage. It's y'all come up with the most difficult positioning. You don't really make it easy for the man. Obviously, you don't want to I understand you don't want to give it away, but you don't want to make it so difficult that the man is not really sure, especially in today's age, today's era and society with, hey, make sure you come to me correct. Well, what is correct? Well, correct is different for a lot of women. Right. So since the rules are always changing, what are you looking for? How can you show me, is there a commonality between the way to at least get in your vicinity? Is there a commonality there where you don't blow me up, where you don't think that I'm going to be a creep? Is there a certain way that I act, a certain way that I can kind of come up to you and get the ball rolling? What is it? It used to be, hey, how are you doing? My name is, saw you, from across the way, and I thought I'd come over and shake your hand and say hi, see how your night is going. Oh, I'm doing okay. Modern women, they're not pleasant. There used to be ladies, and not every lady back in the day was pleasant, but, and you had those shows where they would intentionally put in the show that they would intentionally be unpleasant in the show. And that's what y'all have been watching, and that's what y'all have taken. So while you might be by yourself, you look unpleasant, honestly.